One tag, 1 week, one shot to make it count. This is for the hunters who hit the road and get after it, no matter the odds. This is Drawn West. Welcome back to another Drawn West podcast episode brought to you by Go Hunt. I'm your host, Brian Krebs, and today we've got a very special episode with you because we've got Daniel Parker from the team over at Mathews, and it's November, which means we're going to be talking about the newest flagship bow from Mathews. Welcome to the podcast, Daniel.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I'm pumped to talk about the new stuff we got going on. It's been great so far, and yeah, can't wait for what to see this year brings.
Yeah, I can't believe, I was like, we were talking in the green room. I was on a mountain when I realized it's new bow day, and it was, clearly a very aligned effort across all of the wonderful people you guys work with. But the post that struck me the most was Mark Drury's post where he had like 3 once-in-a-lifetime bucks all with his arc already this year. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, like to have that kind of a season, that would be
Right.
amazing.
They got it figured out. They got something special going on, and I think everybody knows that. So
Yeah.
it's awesome to have those guys on the team.
It is. You mentioned you got your hands on a new bow earlier this year. You've been shooting it for a full year, so you're plenty familiar with it. I've been shooting the Lift 33. That's the Lift X33 I got this summer. And before then, I was shooting a Halon. That was my graduation present to myself from college. And I think I had the only white camo Halon I've ever seen. I don't know how many were sold. I don't know how many were made. I custom ordered mine.
And not many.
No,
promise you that.
10 years I shot that bow, and I'm like, at the time I was thinking like it was like the Halon. I was really under this mindset of like bows have come a long way. I went from like a PSE baby G-Force to the Halon, right? So like 2 2x4s welded together to like one of the best bows ever made. And when I made that transition, I'm like, man, this is so good. How could it possibly get any better? And for 10 years, I thought that. I'm like, I don't really need a new bow. I've got, a bow that was made in the last 10 years, and I don't see how it could get any better than this. And then I shot the Lift X, and I'm like, wow, it's night and day difference.
Right. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's pretty incredible. Like people don't necessarily see the differences, but like once we launched a tech video, and I'm sure we'll go into this a little bit later, but Mark, one of the engineers, had a little tech video that we put out this year. It's like 15 minutes long, but it goes over every aspect of the bow, and it's just super informational. And like people that think that the Halon or the Triax or the Verdix, it's just the same bow, and you watch this video and you go over all the actual like little details, it is night and day, not even comparable. So yeah, going from the Halon to the Lift, like there's some very significant differences in performance.
I noticed it. First of all, like Halon to Lift, I shoot heavy bows. Like my Halon was 8 pounds. My Lift is close to that. By the time I add all the bars and weights and stuff, I don't know why. I started adding a little bit and I started shooting a little better. So I added a little more and I shot a little better. And everyone likes to talk about like cutting ounces on like these archery elk hunts. That's really what I use my bow the most for. Besides whitetails. I'm like, just lose like 3 pounds. Like,
right. It's like, easier for a person. Yeah.
You're going to have to carry 100 pounds off the mountain. So like 3 or 4 times, I'm not too worried about if my bow weighs 3 pounds extra, if it makes me shoot better. And I love it. I love how solid it feels and it's quiet. And then the Lift was like another like leap above that, way quieter. It hit like a hammer. I also went to an 80-pound Lift and I went to a 30.5-inch draw. So it shoots hard. Like and with a 600 grain arrow, like I have to be careful which targets I shoot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that thing's gonna pound.
Yeah, micro diameter, which is great for penetration, but harder to pull them out. And then I have the outsert, so I can use standard broadhead, standard field points. So I got this huge anchor at the end. When I'm trying to pull it out of targets, like a bag target, I won't shoot a bag target anymore.
No, you can't do that.
No, they get stuck and it rips things off. And I couldn't believe it. And now I was looking at the specs. I was like trying to download the Mathews webpage on the mountain, and it's just crawling, right? Because I barely have service. And I'm trying to get to the like, what is the arc? Like, what are the specs? And it finally loaded. And I was super excited because for me, it's like the perfect fit. I'm a bigger guy. So the 33 was
Right.
a great axle. Now the 34, really excited about that. And then the fact that you can
Yep.
pair the 80-pound with up to a 32-inch draw. I mean, there's some guys out there that are going to be like shooting arrows that are like almost supersonic. I mean, this is going to
Dude,
be,
yeah. It's it's crazy how fast like this bow is like I mean comparable or not comparable but in comparison to your Halon, yeah, the what these bows have in efficiency is not even close to what like the Halon had. So like your speed and your kinetic energy coming out of these bows is insane.
yeah. Yeah, it is. And I feel like, I don't know if it's a movement of like, I've never really chased arrow speed, but I really, really like getting extra energy, just energy.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
usually shooting a heavier arrow because I don't like to swap between an elk arrow and a whitetail arrow because you get back from elk
Mhm.
hunting and it's go time for whitetails. The last thing I want to be doing
Right.
is switching broadheads and like these
Same.
sights are great. I'm shooting the ultra rest or the not the ultra rest, the
Ultra view.
ultra view. Sorry, yes, ultra view.
Yeah.
They're great, but they take a minute to sight in. It's not the same as sighting in your old fixed pin, 3-pin, whatever you were using before. And so like you got
Yep.
to redo that every time. That takes a little bit. Like you don't want to rush it.
Right.
So I'm shooting a 600 grain arrow. So I'm like, hey, I want to get that back up to like a normal speed, and get enough energy to have good penetration. And so I've just
Right.
loved having that excess energy. It's the
Right.
same reason why I shoot a 300 Win Mag. It's just to have a little extra.
Why not? If you can, why not?
Yeah.
Yep. How fast are you shooting your lift right now with that setup?
Well, I
80
can
pounds,
tell you
30-inch
it's
draw.
sight tape 28. That's all I know.
Fair
So,
enough. Fair enough.
I'm shooting it at 75 pounds,
Okay.
600 grain arrow, 30.5 inches, and it's sight tape 28. I haven't put it through a chrono yet.
Sure.
I put a test bow at the shop through a chrono when I was making sure I could pull the 75 or 80 pounds. I think we did 75 and I was shooting like in the 260s for arrow speed.
Okay.
So I'm still not, that 600 grains. Like a lot of people love shooting over 300 when they're hunting arrows, and it would be sweet, but you're not going to get a 600 grain arrow to shoot in the threes.
No, not really.
No, unless you're like Cameron Haynes, but 6'2", shooting a 90
Right.
pound bow at
Yeah.
6'2", you might be able to, or 6'4", then you might be able to get that thing to go. But man, can you imagine the arrow spine you would need
Oh gosh, a 150 spine.
yeah, or more or less, or I mean whatever. Like you basically
Yeah.
solid carbon arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nuts.
So I'm happy. Our whitetails here. I don't know. You're in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
much different. We have some does that are just like ninjas. Like they just drop. And so I'm getting
Yeah.
really into like making sure their head is up, so they can't get that
Yeah.
leverage to drop faster.
Right.
I hate shooting a deer farther than 30 yards. I just avoid
Yeah.
it like it's the plague. I'm trying to always get inside of 30. I've done one shot and it was far from perfect beyond 30. And I bring it back in. And so with all those things considered, like, it's like, I don't think arrow speed is my limiting factor anymore. It's just like, make sure that you have the right conditions, make sure you have a great shot, 20
Right.
yards, their head is up, you aiming for heart. And a lot of times I'll hit like double limb.
Right.
And that's really, instead of like, oh, I want a faster arrow so they can't drop it. That's the approach I choose to take. Everyone's got their own opinion on that. And that's just the way I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, yeah, head up makes a big difference. And I think like I definitely would prefer a shot that's 20 yards or under, but obviously that's not a guarantee, especially out west. You can't always have that. But
Yeah.
deer react to if it's close enough, they'll react to bow noise, and then vane noise is actually the main thing. So like I think Levi Morgan mentioned something about this too. Like he likes shooting the deer that's like 25 yards or less because your arrow's fast enough that they can't react as much, or I think he said like 40 or 45 yards and beyond. Because if it's like 25 to that 45-yard mark, like that's far enough away for them to react, and that's where you get those high shots or those misses. So
Yeah.
those deer have time to react; they can hear it. So I don't quote me on those exact distances, but I know he said something along that line. Like there's a gap where he prefers not to shoot a whitetail within 25 to 45 yards, something like that.
Yeah. I wish whitetails had the confidence, the self-confidence that elk have, where they will just watch your arrow come in and just be like, "Oh, that's
Right.
nothing." And then be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
They
Yep.
just
They just
stand
don't
there.
care.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. They don't drop.
No, it would be nice. I guess that's why you get to be king of the mountain when you have that 800 pounds behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you got the arc, you hunted with it. We
Yeah.
got to you got to give us the specs. Like, what did you pick? I'm assuming you guys get to really take your time and all the colors that are coming out. We got a new color this year.
Yep.
What'd you go with? What are the specs?
So I rolled with the Arc 30 this year. I'm 6 foot 190. I have a little bit longer wingspan.
Okay.
I have if you do the wingspan divided by 2.5 gets you the rough idea. Technically, I'm like 30 and 3/4 is what it comes out to be. So like I have a 30.5 inch draw mod in my Arc 30, which is the max. That's a letter A mod,
Okay.
and I run 65 pounds just because I shoot a ton and I like my shoulders. So I try not to overdo it. Like I just try to make it super comfortable. Can I pull more?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I don't need to, especially when you have a long draw length,
Yeah.
for just whitetail. Obviously I'd up it a little bit when I go elk hunting sometimes, but so the Arc 30.5 inch draw, 65 pounds, Kodiak Brown riser with black limbs. I have the Ultra View sight, 3-pin horizontal. So I love that a lot. That sight's been killer for me. You want me to go over like my rest and peep sight and arrows and all, my whole shebang?
Let's dive into it. Let's get nerdy. So yeah, what did you
Okay.
do with the whole build out?
So I have a Hamsky Insight Peep. So I like changing out the apertures because I do some target archery here and there. So I play with my aperture size.
Okay.
I have a Hamsky Rest. I go back and forth between the Q80 Rest because we have an awesome Q80, the IMX2 Rest as well. And then front bar, I have a 10-inch Kodiak Brown bridge lock stabilizer, and then I have a back bar mount. I have an 8-inch. I think I have 4 ounces on the back and 3 ounces on the front with my stabilizer. Obviously, I have the ARC limb legs too. I don't take those in the tree, but if I'm blind hunting, take those with. Arrows, I have Easton Parallel Pros with 55 grain, their match grade insert, and I use Rage tripans with collars, like the older style ones.
Okay.
Air Razor 4 Fletch, 2.3 veins, and Easton Micro Light Knock. So that's my whole, and it comes out to be 430 grains.
Okay, so you're screaming. I mean, you probably are getting closer to that 300, maybe more feet per second.
I'm at like 306.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, remember that. I mean, I'm
fast.
sure you know, but that's where bows used to be like rated IBO. Like, oh, we
Right.
broke 300, and it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And then a couple brands were like took it too far, and they had like it seemed like 2.5-inch brace heights, and they were shooting 370, and like that lasted like 1 year, and like no one must have bought them after the first try because they all went away. None of them are out there anymore.
Right.
And just way too aggressive. The technology wasn't there for that much speed.
Yeah.
But for a while, like 300 was the gold standard. And then we started getting like into the like 320s. That was a big one. 320, 324. Like the Z7 Extreme was in that range. The no cam was like what, 331. And then all of a sudden the dual cams came back and it was like full speed ahead. Let's go 346, 353. Let's go.
Right. We don't forget about the McPherson Monster Series. I think that was, that came around, 2010-ish.
Yeah,
we had there's the Monster 6, Monster 7, then we had the MR series. Like those, I think the MR 5, which would have been, I don't know if you have a computer handy to look it up, but I feel like the MR5, I'm pretty sure it had a 350 IBO.
Yeah, it did because I wanted one really bad. And I think the Monster Series, didn't you guys IBO that at like 85 pounds?
Safari.
Oh, that was the Safari. Okay,
The
yeah,
Monster Safari. That had an 85-pound option. Yep.
right. And so it's
Yep.
like 350, but at 85 pounds, I mean, it was
Right.
screaming. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So, uh, yeah, I wanted a Monster so bad just for this energy. Looking back,
Yeah. Those things are insane.
probably good on my shoulders. That I've
Right.
waited till where I am now and I understand like shoulder health. I don't think you can truly appreciate like shoulder health in your 20s. You're just
I
like,
didn't think about it. I can promise you that.
yeah, you're just like, my shoulders never hurt shooting my bow. And I'm like, all right, wait 10 years. Now it's
Right.
like I've done things in the gym, Turkish get ups and stuff where it's like you tweak that and it's like, that's not getting
Yep.
healed as fast as I want. And so I've had to go get like a couple of, I don't know what they call it, but it's basically like the worst feeling massage in the world.
Just
And
a deep tissue massage of some
I don't
sort.
even think that does it justice. But yeah, it's mostly like, how can we make you cry by pushing on things in your shoulder? And then 2 times later, it heals up. But yeah, knowing now it's
Right.
like, okay, I'm going to shoot 75 in the summer when I'm warm. I'm going to stretch. Coming into target season, I'm dialing my bow back down to 70 for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I could go to 65 with 80-pound limbs. I know 10 pounds is usually pretty safe. But I'm not going to shoot 3D season all year long at 75 or 80. That's ridiculous.
No, that just hurts hearing that.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. My bow is very similar to yours in a 33. So I did the shale fade to black, green dampeners. I have a 12-10 bar instead of the 10-8 bar. I think our weights are the same. I think I have 3-4 ounces on the front and 4-5 ounces on the back. Having the right tool for the job can make all the difference in the world, and that applies for our Western hunts too. Especially if you're coming from the Midwest like myself, because if you don't have it, there's no going home to get it. That's why many of us Western hunters are also gear junkies. And the same is true for the folks over at Go Hunt. They have built the Go Hunt Gear Shop to be jam-packed full of the best, highest quality gear needed for your Western hunts. They try out everything that gets into the shop, and if they don't like it or if they don't use it, it doesn't make the cut. So if you need something for your next trip, Go Hunt has something for you in their gear shop. They've got everything from optics, camping gear, accessories, apparel, footwear. They've got packs. They've got some of the best brands in the industry. So if you're in the market for some new gear, consider checking out the Go Hunt Gear Shop. They're an avid supporter of the outdoors. They're supporters of this podcast. And most importantly, they're supporters of you. They want to help you be more successful in the West. So there's no better place to shop for your gear, information, or knowledge than Go Hunt. And if you use the code DRAWNWEST when you check out, you're going to get 10% off most of the regular priced items in the Go Hunt Gear Shop. So head over to GoHunt.com, get the gear you need, use the code DRAWNWEST, and get the right tool for the job this fall.
Sure.
I leave my exo limbs on all the time.
There's nothing. They're meant to be left on.
Awesome. They're
That's
just
fine.
so awesome that I will take them off in a tree stand at the sometimes at the tree. Like I'll just carry, like, especially when I hunt out of my house. Like I just pick it up off the stand. I walk out the door and hunt.
Right.
Yeah, I store it
That's
on
awesome.
those things. They're amazing. So the one of the big changes, and you mentioned you have the ARC limbs and I have the exo limbs, is that the limb pocket changed on the ARC, right?
Correct.
So, like, I don't know, maybe like walk us through some of the, like, your favorite new changes on the ARC versus, because I think we had like a common riser, common limb pocket on the last like couple generations of bows, right? So now this is
the last two.
Yeah.
Yep. The Lift and the Lift X had almost identical risers, identical limb angle, limb pockets. So the Lift and the Lift X, basically the only difference was a limb shift technology.
Okay.
So, which obviously, for those that don't know, it's your tuning. There's a lock screw on the outside of the axle and allows you to move your limb, both the top and bottom limb, in or out, and that can accommodate your paper tear.
Yep.
So the ARC still has that, but when we jump from the Lift X to the ARC this year, new riser design, new limb pocket design, new limb angle, new limb design, in a new cam. It's an updated version. So the Lift and the Lift X have the SWX cam. The ARC has the SWX2 cam, and that has the perimeter weight, which is one thing that we definitely want to highlight because um, all bows, when they're tested at like the IBO rating, when a manufacturer pumps out those numbers, um, it's done in a lab essentially.
Yeah.
So your standard speed rating is done at 70 pounds, 30-inch straw with a 350 grain arrow. The arrow doesn't have any vanes on it. Your string doesn't have a D loop. It doesn't have a peep sight. So it's the absolute bare minimum
Right.
to have weight down and aerodynamics, as streamlined as possible. Well, the perimeter weight in this new SWX2 cam, like when you throw the D loop on, when you throw the peep sight in, when you throw the vanes on your arrow, that perimeter weighted piece actually helps retain a lot of that energy to keep your feet per second rating as high as possible and just keeps the efficiency going. So like if you have a Lift X set up with the exact same specs, that exact same arrow, shot that through a chrono, and then had the exact same specs out of an ARC 30, you're going to have 4 to 5 feet per second faster out of that ARC 30, only because the efficiencies in this ARC 30. One thing in particular is that, again, that perimeter weight helps retain that energy once all the
Oh.
stuff is put on.
Yeah, so you think so it's like you're talking about like inertia and like a flywheel effect almost. Like you're getting all
Yeah.
that weight out from the
Yep.
center of the rotation, right? Like the center point. And so when that starts
Yeah.
rolling, it's got a lot of energy that it retains.
Right. Right. And it actually, like, you would think that that's going to increase vibration, increase noise, but actually, the Arc is the first bow in I don't know how many years that we ended up not putting monkey tails on this bow because it has the same noise and vibration levels as the Lift and Lift X did with monkey tails.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's one
it's
thing I
faster,
noticed
quieter. Yeah.
with the lift. And it seems like the limb angle um it was crazy. Like I didn't realize how crazy it was until my buddy took a picture of me at full draw, and I'm like, "Holy smokes, those are like going backwards." Um,
Right.
because they start like parallel and then go down from there, versus like
Yeah.
old bows used to come down to parallel.
Right.
And so it seems to me that it's almost like the same as a muzzle brake or a suppressor, where it's like it's throwing just as much energy backwards as forwards and just kind of almost equalizes your net energy, which is like at the end of the day,
Right.
your hand shock or like the vibration you feel. It
Yeah.
seems like it that way. Is that like the arcs kind of
Yeah.
got the same thing going?
Yeah, so Mark talks about this in the video about the limb angle.
Yeah.
So I'll first start with saying a parallel limb is when your limb pocket is here and then your limb will curve up and your axle is right here.
Yeah.
So if your axle is straight across from your limb pocket, that's considered parallel
Okay.
right there.
Yep.
So your lift in the Lift X, those limbs at brace height at rest, they started slightly below parallel. And like you said, and your buddy took a picture, and your limb, as you draw, will get closer to your riser. So
Yeah.
your limb is traveling down and in towards your riser.
Right.
So technically, there is horizontal travel with that limb. Now with the arc, you have that same limb pocket axle, but your axle actually starts slightly above
Okay.
that parallel line, slightly above. So when you draw, that axle is actually traveling in more of a vertical path. Instead of in or instead of out like the old bows, it's almost a vertical path, as close to vertical as you can get. So it starts slightly above parallel and goes barely below parallel. And
Hmm.
just like you were saying, it essentially like cancels itself out because those limbs are going like this.
Yeah.
Instead of going this way or this way, they're going opposite directions and they're like canceling each other out.
Yeah, well, even with the Lift X having a little bit of horizontal travel, it didn't seem like
Yep.
it still was way less hand shock than my Halon. And I was just like, hey, I'm sending an arrow forward with 85 foot-pounds of energy, and these limbs are probably going a little bit net backwards when the bow goes off, and those two cancel each other out. Because like if you send
Right.
an arrow forward at 82 foot-pounds, you're gonna get 82 foot-pounds back into your hand I mean, that's just conservation of energy.
Right. Yep.
And I was just like, hey, if those limbs take out half of that, then I feel way less.
Right.
Before, the old bows, like they were, they would shoot forward and your arrow would shoot forward, and you'd have all kinds of hand shock because there's so much energy going forward that the recoil, if you will, like no one thinks of a bow having recoil, but that is what we're talking about. They used to be terrible.
So much noise.
Yeah.
So loud too.
And you'd have what were they called? Not monkey tails, but the version before it where it looked like a cat toy of just rubber.
Those are just the whiskers.
Yeah.
They call them.
Yeah, but a lot. I mean, it'd be like 50 of them, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they look like, just like you said, like a cat toy. Those whiskers. You see a lot of recurves have them on now.
Yeah.
Same with like the beaver balls, I think, is another.
That's probably the
thing
one
that they call them.
Might have been the one I was thinking of. Yes. And I remember like having them all on my first bow, and they'd always break. And it's like, you really know how much energy is happening in your string when the things designed to reduce your energy are breaking. Yeah.
Keeps it quiet though for a little bit.
I'm excited to try the ARC now that you're talking about it. So we got a new limb pocket, new limb design, new cam.
Yep. Riser design.
It looks similar. Is it there's some new details obviously to accommodate the new limbs and things and the new height, obviously.
Yep. So if you look just at like the very bottom section, the top section of the riser itself, like that's beefed up. So it like it's a little bit wider.
Okay.
And that also is where we integrated the Silent Connect system. So I'm not sure if you use a sling or if you use a hoist rope, but those hooks or pegs that we've had the past few years that you would attach to your limb pocket, it was that peg that you can attach your hoist rope to or your sling. It is now machined into the riser itself, and it's right there near the limb pocket, top and bottom.
Awesome.
So that's that. Yeah. Have you ever used that Silent Connect system before?
I have not used the Silent Connect system. Because with my Halon, I just didn't have it, and I started doing a lot more run and gun hunting once we started working with the crew over at XOP, doing saddles and stuff. And I'm like, hey, why is there not a good bow hoist? Like it used to get so bad. I had that long bar. I'd put my bow across my shoulders. I'd take my bino harness off and strap my bar in through it and snap it back together, and I'd just climb the tree that way. And my bow would just be across my shoulders.
Yep.
Because I hated every bow rope was just awful. And they always tangle. And then I know they make the ones where it's like a little fishing reel. And I'm like, that seems big and bulky. And then Brock from XOP used to be a rock climber. And he's like, oh, you want me to show you how to like wrap that up so it doesn't tangle? And it's just like a little X, like you just X it and like make a figure 8 when you weave it, and it won't tangle. You can just drop it and the whole thing falls right out every time. And so I was just using paracord on my Halon. Yeah. And so I just ran paracord, but I always kind of struggle with like, where do you connect this to? Do you yank on your limbs? Do you yank on your cam? I'm like, well, I really don't like tying it to the cam. I mean, I know it should handle it, but I mean, that's where all your tuning takes place.
Right. Yeah. It's a mental thing. It's like, I don't want to attach it to that. Yeah. Same with the limbs. So
it takes forever to sometimes weave it through your riser. But that's usually what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And now you don't have to worry about it because it has 2 little anchor or cleats machined into the riser. So you can just hook that loop around there and call it good. Don't need to have a knot. So super easy. It's meant to use paracord because we have a hoist rope that we sell with the accessory kit for the Silent Connect system. So it's good thick paracord.
Yeah, like 550 paracord.
I think so.
Yeah. Should be more than enough weight for the 4.3 pound bow.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a new riser. I love the integrated features on anything like that. I don't know if you've seen basically shelf lock and different versions of it on tree stands nowadays, where you flip your seat, like it's a run and gun thing kind of, but when you fold your tree stand down, you can fold your seat up, and everyone's got it just locks in, and now you have a little platform for your backpack to, like, just little things like that where it's like it didn't cost anything extra, we just had to think of it.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. I didn't know the name of it, but I have an XOP Cold World. That's one of my running gun setups. So, and that has that too. So absolutely. So there's other things in the riser too that we added. It's integrating the accessories over the past 5-ish years, I think, has been the big deals. Like the verdicts came out in 2020, and I had the first integrated rest.
Yeah.
Then we graduated to, I think, the low pro quivers, having those super tight, just super lightweight, super
Oh, I
tight to
love
the
mine.
limb. Then we went to the Bridgelock stabilizer,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Bridgelock sight, and then this year we obviously have the Sonic Connect system, and the rear mount stabilizer is now, it's a slot in the riser too.
Yeah.
So that way you can, and it's held in by a thumb screw. That same 3-headed thumb screw that attaches your front Bridgelock stabilizer
Yeah.
is the same one that will attach the rear stabilizer mount to your riser. And it's, the cutout is in the riser, so you can slide that rear mount into your riser, and you thread that piece in, that 3-headed thumb screw,
Yep.
and that will hold your whole mount. And that way, like if you need to put your bow in a case, or just got to take it off for whatever reasons, that thumb screw, loosen that up, pop out your whole rear mount with your stabilizer on it. And again, since it's slotted, you can put it right back in place and be super confident that it's going to find that exact spot,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I love the bridge lock, everything. I mean, when I built this bow out, I kind of went like, oh, do I just reuse everything that's on my Halon? But that stuff's like
Get all new
old.
stuff.
And, it's like I had a bee stinger, front bar, bee stinger, back bar.
Yep.
And I had I had a HHA Kingpin, and, but I was like,
Sure.
you know what? Let's just go it. Let's just do it. Like Mathews is coming in, and they're being really awesome to work with, especially like I told them from day one, hey, I'm going to start over, by the way. You guys cool with that? And so I'm like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's finally do the full bow the way it's designed to be. So we did the front lock, or the bridge lock front bar. We did the V bar with the back bridge lock. We did the
Yep.
Ultra View rest, or the Ultra View sight, the IMX2. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Integrated.
Yep. Yep.
Everything, low pro quiver. And it's just like, I love that thing. I love it so
Yeah.
much. Everything works so well together. And
Right.
those thumb screws are awesome. And now the arc, I think I saw it, the slot for the bridge lock comes at the it's preset to have like is it 7 or 10 degree angle?
It's a 7 degrees. So the stabilizer itself has a cutout in it.
Yeah.
So you can get a 10-inch, 12-inch, or 15-inch 7-degree angled bridge lock stabilizer, and we do offer that in all the color options as well.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because I have mine set at probably 7 degrees. I don't know what it is, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that,
right.
I don't know. Why do people do that? I don't even know.
Lower center of gravity just helps balance better.
Okay. I was,
That's the main reason. Some people do it for just, it's out of the way a little bit more
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
I like it that way. I like it that I can leave my back bar on the way it is. I just have to take my front bar off in my case.
sure.
Because my back bar doesn't, a 10-inch at an angle, I angle it out a little bit to offset my sight and my quiver. Like I'm trying to just find
Yep.
that angle where my bow just sits vertical. It's really hard
Yep.
when you shoot on slanted cement.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm like, this does not feel straight. And I've put this thing in a vise so many times, and I've done I'm like, this feels straight, but then my bow wants me to do that. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think it's because I shoot off slanted cement.
Make sure your sight is level too.
Yeah. Well, I've done,
because then you'll know.
I did first, second, and third axis. And the third axis is the one I'm a little bit iffy on whether I nailed it. I just did the
Okay.
draw, follow a line down, and see if it, moves left
Right.
or right. And
Yep.
it was close-ish, assuming it was good to begin with. You know what I mean? Like
Sure. Yeah.
there's an art to leveling a sight. There's science of like how to do it, and then the art is in actually doing it right.
Right.
But yeah, my back patio is a little slanted, so I don't know. Haven't
Makes it
missed yet.
easier when you're standing on flat ground then.
Yeah, I haven't missed yet, so that's good.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I love it. I just like that angle because it doesn't stick past the string as much. It balances my bow. And man, when my wife unfortunately shoots Hoyt, she loves Hoyt. So we have a split family. But even her, like
For now.
for now, when we put a little bar on her bow, she's like, "Oh, I shoot way better." And I'm like, "I've been telling you this for so long." Like, yeah, there is an integrated rest sort of, on some bows, but it's not the same as having a 12-inch bar. Like the 2 ounces on your lower riser is not the same as 4 ounces on a 12-inch bar for your float.
Yeah, it's significantly different.
Yeah, so she loved that for 3D season. We both shoot 3D together.
Okay.
Yeah, she actually won a different bow on 3D League.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She sold it.
Do you guys ever
6.5.
Do you guys ever go to like tack shoots or ASA shoots?
Oh man, I want to so bad every summer. And there's you probably know the Superior, Wisconsin shoot, Bowfest.
Yep.
Is like not that, I'm just Forest Lake, Minnesota, just an hour north of the Twin Cities, so not too far away.
Okay.
It's right like in our backyard. And every year that's the one weekend where we've got like something out of town for 4 days straight. And then I never have vacation left to go to a real tack, but like tack Bozeman, tack Big Sky, man, those are my dream. Like would love to do that. And I probably should do more of that with the podcast, to be honest, is go. And then, but I'm always like, what would I do as a podcast to have a booth at an event? Like I want to go shoot. I don't want to sit at an event and tell people about my podcast. So I don't know. I haven't really figured out the business angle of what I would do at these events, but yeah, maybe just go personally and just have fun.
Yeah. I mean, I went to, I think 6 last year for Mathews and helped set up the booth, but there wasn't anybody who specifically was there having their own booth as a podcaster. But I mean, all of the MFJJ, a bunch of other guys that do podcasts, they were going around and just like almost interviewing other manufacturers and obviously talking while they're shooting out on the courses. But yeah, they're a ton of fun. Highly recommend you give it a shot.
I'll have to do that. I need to do that. And I mean, obviously I just call you guys and be like, hey, you mind if I help out with you guys at the booth for, an afternoon? And,
oh yeah.
I mean, obviously we know a lot of people, obviously, like you guys, like, you want to come hang out for free and help us at the booth? Yeah, for sure. Like, like, hey, I got this. You guys go shoot your round or something and sell some bows or have people do some stuff. I think that'd be fun. I think that's probably where the best fit would actually just be, is just, building relationships, talking to people that I wouldn't otherwise get a chance to see and obviously shoot.
Yeah. They're a blast.
Yeah. So with your new bow or the new arc, so for a while, maybe let's back up for a ways. So when I got the Halon came in a 30, right? And the next year, I think it was the Halon 32. And then there was like I'm going to start to date myself. I can't remember more, but then the next flagship was like a 29. And then the next
Triax.
Yeah. And then
28.
28. And then it was, now like with the Lift X, it was, you could get it in a 29.5 or a 33. Yeah. And it seems like that's kind of the method. It's like, hey, we kind of have two different people here, right? Like we've got people that are shooting 24 to 28 inches, which is probably, I don't know, it'd be so interesting to see the analytics. And I'm sure you guys have them on like, what is the most common draw length? Probably somewhere in the 28.5 range.
Yeah. Yep.
And so
absolutely is.
And so someone there, like that's probably a 5'9" to 5'11", average height of a U.S. male.
Yep.
They don't need a 36-inch axle to axle, right?
Right.
Your whitetail guys sometimes don't like it. I like it. I hunt private land whitetails. I got plenty of space in my trees. And I'm a big dude. If there's not space for a 33-inch bow, there's not space for a 265-pound guy either. So, but it does seem like lately we've been getting like two options, the short bow, the long bow, because there's two drastically different people. On the other hand, there's guys like me, guys like you. I have a friend at the gym that's 6'5", and he's like, before, like it was a struggle to find a bow. There's like maybe one bow on the market that would work for you each year. And it probably wasn't the brand you wanted. Now we're at least getting those options more consistently for long draw shooters. And the questions I always get, especially when we ran the Lift giveaway, one of the things we did is, hey, if you just email us back. This episode is brought to you by Mathews Archery. Folks, I just upgraded my Halon to the all-new Mathews Lift X, and I absolutely love it. I went with the 33-inch axle to axle, which is a great fitting bow for anyone like me that's got a little bit longer draw length. And I also went with the 80-pound limbs this time because it gives me the flexibility whether I want to shoot it at 70 for whitetails and target league, or if I want to bump that up to 75 or 80 the next time we go on an archery elk hunt for a little extra energy. And the one thing that I am still blown away by is how smooth this bow shoots. There's no hand vibration when it goes off. It's incredibly quiet, and it's an absolute tack driver. So if you're in the market for a new bow, head over to MathewsInc.com and check out the new Lift X, either the 29.5 or the 33, depending on what you're looking for. And you're going to see why I've been loving my new Lift X. What bow you would pick, I'll give you 5 extra entries. Right? Would you pick the 29.5? Would you pick the 33? Yep. What color? You tell me as much as little as you want. If you email me back and say a black bow, I'll give you 5 points. But I was just curious, like, what would people pick? And a lot of people were like, I don't know. What should I pick between the 29.5 and the 33? And they'd like give me their specs. And if I had time, I'd write a short answer. But I'm curious to hear from like people that live this day in and day out. How do you think about that question? Like 30 versus 34. How do you make that decision?
So I will tell you this, it's probably about a 70-30 split with the short bows, being purchased over the long bows. And I think that kind of started like from my perspective, I don't know like what was ultimately decided, but a long bow and a short bow, I think that kind of started with the Verdicts, which would have been the year after the Triax. So I think the flagship model would have been the year of 2020.
Okay.
I think that was. So the Verdicts was their flagship bow. And then I know the engineers were told that we needed like a longer bow / longer draw bow. And then we came out with a Traverse. The Traverse, however, was not considered flagship, and it had the standard CC3 cam, which was not switch weight mods. It went up to 32.5-inch draw length, I think.
Okay.
And the Verdicts, I think, went to 30.5. So from that year, we sold a ton of Traverses. Like that bow was great for not only long draw, but people are starting to get more and more into target archery. Like tack is becoming more and more, sought after of an event that people go to, and people just want, it's obvious that a longer bow is going to be more accurate. With a longer bow, you do lose a little bit of maneuverability, and you typically lose a little bit of speed. But again, you gain a little bit of accuracy with that. So after the Verdicts and Triax here was a VXR, and that was the first one where we had the 2 flagship options. We had the VXR 28 and the VXR 31.5. And then the following year was a V327 and the V331. The year after that was the V3X29 and the V3X33. Then it was the Phase 4, 29 and 33, and then the Lift X, and now we're here at the ARC. But yeah, majority of people are purchasing the shorter bow because majority of people are whitetail hunters, hunting out of a blind, hunting out of a tree. Mobile hunting is becoming more popular, so you want that maneuverability.
Right.
Speed is kind of becoming or coming back into popularity. So again, that shorter bow is typically going to be a little bit faster as well. I also see a lot of target archers using 34s though, like hunting bows. Like again, back to that Traverse, that was 33 inches axle to axle. There were a lot of people on the ASA circuit that were shooting that bow. And like Cara Kelly, for example, she's one of the women open pro shooters. I don't know how many tournaments she won that year, but it was a ridiculous amount of winnings that she walked away with after the season with a quote unquote hunting bow.
Yeah.
So like with target archery or just people being more target archery inclined, again with the tack shoots as well, like they want a little more stability. They want to be able to shoot those long shots because tack shoots, there's some courses where you're shooting well over 100 yards. Yeah. And you can certainly do it with a shorter bow. Absolutely. It's definitely doable, but a longer axle to axle bow will give you a little bit more forgiveness.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, with personally, I'm a shorter bow kind of guy. Yeah. When it comes to hunting, at least.
Yeah. So, is there any rules of thumb? And there's always an exception to a rule of thumb, but the one that I've kind of maybe burned in my mind, my own self, is that your ADA should probably be larger than your draw length. Like if you have a 32-inch draw length, you're probably not going to have fun with a 28-inch bow.
Right. You're probably not going to find one that reaches that draw length.
Yeah.
But yes,
string angle starts to get so sharp that it is that maybe just like
Yep.
what is the trade-off in the accuracy and like what happens? Like I think most people, they're just like, I just want a bow that shoots good. And I
Right.
might like, I'm a target archer, so I want a target bow that shoots good, or I'm a hunter, whitetail hunter, I want to, but they don't really get into all the details of like why this bow is gonna, and then they're just trusting the guy at
Right.
the shop. And it's like going to take your truck to the
Right.
mechanic. It's like, does it really need this, or do you just want to sell
Right.
this?
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, like, again, I have a 30.5 inch draw and I still went with the ARC 30.
Okay.
It probably helps that I'm have a target archery background too. So
Yeah, right.
my form, I feel like it is relatively good,
Yeah.
you know, but for somebody just starting out, like I definitely would, like if I'm a new archer and I have a 30-inch draw length,
Mhm.
I definitely would lean towards that longer axle to axle. So you do have to take, that peep location, the closer the peep is to your eye, that's typically going to get you a little bit better, accuracy, more consistent. So, you got to think about that when, again, you were talking about the string angle. That's 100% what that is. So,
So string
but
angle is
yeah,
all about the fact that given the common anchor, your peep starts getting farther and farther away from your eye.
yeah,
Okay.
yep,
Interesting.
yep. So yeah, you gotta think. So like, if somebody has a 28-inch draw, that string might be like this. But if you have a 30-inch draw, that string's gonna be steeper. So
Yeah.
that means your peep sight, like if your peep sight's right here at the tip of my finger, 28-inch draw is here, 30-inch draw is gonna be a little bit further away
Yeah. That makes
because
complete
that string
sense.
is steep.
And so
Yeah.
is that the same then as your axle to axle grows? Is it just like you're manipulating that string angle, or are there other
Mhm.
benefits that you see with like, like a lot of target bows are 40, 38, the TRG series, the TRG 38. Is that all they're doing
Yep.
is trying to get that peep closer, or do you get other benefits of forgiveness by having a longer
Yeah.
bow?
Yeah, one analogy that I use too is the longer bow, like it's an analogy of a tightrope walker. They have a long balance bar,
Yeah.
The longer the bar, the easier it is to balance. Well, it kind of goes the same ideology with a bow. A longer bow, it's going to balance a little bit better.
Okay. And just
So,
harder
but
to
they're
move because you have that weight farther away from like your center of
yeah,
gravity, that your bow's not going to
yeah,
be as fast to like tilt back and forth.
right, right.
Interesting. Okay.
But then there's always the trade-off. That's why like we have the title series right now for target bows. We have a 34, 36, 38, and a 40. And there's indoor art like target archery and there's outdoor target archery. So like if somebody is specifically doing indoor archery, I would have them go with the longest axle to axle bow possible that
Right.
isn't too crazy heavy for them and it fits in their draw length range. If you're shooting outdoor though, you have to worry about wind profile,
Yeah. You might just,
you
well, tie a
know?
kite to your bow and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have to take that into consideration. So like the Title 38 is by far the most popular axle to axle
Mm,
bow that we sell when it comes to target archery. So
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a couple things to think about if someone's like, man, I don't know. I mean, I could go either way. Which one do you pick?
Right.
We have some guys that shoot our 3D league here just at our local shop.
Yep.
Phenomenal shooters. I mean, so we shoot, I think 360 is the max score you can get each night, and their
Okay.
averages throughout the season are in like the 350s.
That's crazy.
Right. So they're averaging 12 rings on these like Reinhardt
Yeah.
targets. But they've got, 3-foot front bars and 2-foot back bars, and they've got 4x magnified sights, and like they're good.
Right.
Like this is their thing. I think two of them have
Yeah.
scholarships to shoot in college already, and they're in middle school.
Oh
It's
wow.
like crazy. Right. So I'm not going to win by any means, but we got like 4 pages of like Excel sheets of like scores. And I'm like,
Yep.
I jumped to page 2 and I was looking for my name. I couldn't find it. And I'm like, man, I'm like really bad. I must be like way down here. And then I'm like, well, no, these scores are, I shot better than this. And so I'm going back. I'm like, holy smokes, I'm in 11th place. I'm like,
Oh heck yeah.
yeah, I'm like, wow, like I'm actually not half bad at this. Um, and then I missed 2 weeks because we were on vacation in Texas or something. Um, and so I dropped down to like 15th place or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
I was like, man, this year my goal is to try, which is probably a terrible idea because now I'm gonna actually
Yeah.
screw it up. I'm gonna get too in my own head with it.
Right. Yeah.
But I want to do like a bonus series, and I was gonna call it like the TRG. Maybe now we'll call it the title bonus series of like 3D League, and just like kind of like some prep
Sure.
episodes of like, so I was like, I want to get line cutters. I want to go get,
Oh geez, all
refletch my
out, all
arrows,
out.
put like 4 fletches on them, super hard, like spin, like get a lot of arrow
Yep.
stability, back my bow down. I don't think I do anything too crazy after that. Um, White arrows, white them out so I can see where my first shot is, because you don't shoot the same target. I know like other people, they'll shoot blackout arrows so the next shooter can't use their arrow as a
Right.
reference point. Well,
Yep.
my wife likes to shoot first because, it's like you partner up, everyone shoots, and there's
Okay.
16 lanes. Well, she hates being the last person to shoot. Like when there's
Oh
15
sure.
people waiting to go get their arrows.
Yep.
I don't really mind it. So she always shoots first. So I always get her arrow as a reference point. But then if I have like whiteout arrows, then it'd just be a little bit easier. Some like the black bears. If you have a black arrow on those black bears, like you can't see
Oh, you
anything.
can't see them.
Yeah.
No.
So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. So I'm excited to do like a little bonus series this year and see if we can have some fun with it and see if we could do top 10 again. That would be amazing. I'd
Yep.
be tickled pink. I know I'm not going to beat those guys. They're 15 years old. They're shooting, 60x. It's crazy.
What kind of release are you shooting?
Well, I used to shoot this. Now this has turned into my fidget spinner. This is a hot shot 4-finger.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I don't even know how to do it. And it's loose now because I fidget with it too much. What I was doing when I shot this 4-finger is I'd tuck it in my hand like this, and I'd lock my thumb here, and then I would actually pull it with my pinky.
Sure.
I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but I was slapping the trigger bad with like just a strap finger trigger.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, hey, this way, like if I lock it in, then I have to like think about it. But then elk hunting with these doesn't really work.
Right.
So I went back to just a simple $50. I think it's a True Fire or a True Ball. I can't remember which one. And that's what I shoot now. So
that works.
It
does the trick.
What are you thinking? Are you like back tension?
Yeah, I actually hunt with a Hinge release.
Yikes. How do you?
Yeah.
So here's a good question, and this is good for everyone. So like, there's a ton of information on the internet right now about like how you should shoot your bow, and like Joel Turner, obviously made things go crazy with Shot IQ, and and then who is the other one from Knock On?
John Dudley.
John Dudley. I mean, those two. I mean, everyone. Hey friends, if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're an avid hunter just like myself, and we are always looking to get more time in the woods each season. One of the ways that's helped me get more time in the stand is by using Maverick hunting blinds. When I'm comfortable, I stay in the stand longer and I'm more focused on deer. I don't turn around so my hood cuts the wind, I'm not taking shelter from the rain, and the best way to stay comfortable is with a hard-sided blind, and my favorite is Maverick's XL blind, which allows me to rifle hunt, bow hunt out at the same stand. The best part is Maverick has a blind for every spot, so whether you're looking for a rifle only option or a bow and rifle, even a round blind to cut down some of that wind resistance, Maverick has you covered. No matter which option you go with, you're going to be comfortable and sit longer in the stand for all of your upcoming hunting seasons. Go to MaverickHunting.com and use the code DRAWNWEST, that's one word, DRAWNWEST, to get 10% off your next blind and elevate platform. One wants to be an internet John Dudley now. And you're doing it wrong. Well, there are times in hunting where you have to say now. Like, I understand it's all about breathing and tranquility and align your chakras and let the bow surprise you. But there's times where you don't have time for that. How do you do that with a Hinge?
So I've been hunting with a Hinge for probably 5 years now, and I've never had it
be a problem,
cause an issue for me. Like, because like if you think about it, like if you are having to slap your trigger, you know for a fact that you are not making, like, it might hit the animal in a good spot, but you know for a fact that that was a terrible execution. That was a terrible shot.
Sure.
So it's like when I have a Hinge, like I can't punch the trigger. I have to do my legitimate shot process, shot cycle, and I make good shots every single time. Like, I have not wounded an animal. Every single one that I've shot with my Hinge, like, has been about as perfect as it gets.
Okay.
So
yeah. So for me, I'm very situational, and I will admit I just screwed this up in Colorado. I did not make a good shot with a rifle. I rushed it. I got excited. I let myself talk myself into taking a shot. I should have waited for a better one, but I got my mule deer. I'm not perfect, but for me, it's like this bull is coming through at 12 yards and I have an opening and it's a,
Wow.
18-inch target, but I don't have time to play around with a hinge. Maybe you do. Maybe you're like, hey, I still can. To me, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to say slap the trigger, but I would definitely say it's command fire, right? Like
Sure.
it's got to go now.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm just curious, like, do you have that option at all? Like you're like, hey, if I really need to send this and it's like that, I haven't had that personally. I did have a buddy out of a
Yeah.
bull at 12 yards and the bull's still alive. Um, for a host of reasons. No arrows were fired. But like when that situation, sometimes it's like, it's got to be now. Like the gig is up. I don't have a lot of time. Who knows if I have enough time to go through my process, but I know it's going to
Right.
work right now. I mean, 18 inches at 12 yards. There's a lot of
Right.
stories of people missing, but most
Yep.
people don't.
If you so there's ways to manipulate it for sure.
Okay.
Like you can still rip a hinge. Like you can pivot that thing and make it fire, but I guarantee you it's not going to hit the same spot.
Okay.
So that's the downfall with that. But like you can, I have I guess applied more pressure faster.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
if that animal seems like it's gonna bust, or like I've never shot an animal walking. I haven't had to shoot an animal while it's walking.
Sure.
So I've been fortunate in that because I know that's a common thing. But the past 5 years, I've gotten them all to stop, and they've all been,
Yeah.
you know, about as perfect as you can get when it comes to a setup. So like, there's still been a few moments where like the animal might have been a little tense, and I did apply pressure a little bit faster, but still executed a great shot.
So,
So
okay.
it's worked out for me,
Yeah.
but obviously situational.
So I think the proper way, and I was on the NDSU pistol team when I was in college, and it was all about like, hey, your hand is going to do this. Now it might
Yep.
be doing this or it might be doing this, but everyone's hand moves. No one holds it steady. And so you
Right.
get where you're comfortable and you just start slowly applying pressure and it's going to go off.
Yep.
It might go off a little over here and it might go off a little over here, but on average, you're going to group and that's this
Yes.
like a better shooter just manages that float and fights it and keeps it going, but doesn't go, oh, it's going to get to the center right now, boom, right, and pull the
Yes.
trigger on the way. For me with a hinge in a hunting scenario, and I probably just need to try it. The problem is those suckers are like a couple $100 for a nice one.
For a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what happens if it goes off as my float is not where I would like to have my float, which is kind of it's a double-edged sword because then you're also going to say, well, if that's what you're worried about, that probably means you're going to punch the trigger when the pin's going to where you want it to be and equally make a bad shot because you're like,
Yeah.
punching the trigger. But just kind of curious for you, like, do you just shoot enough?
Yeah.
And with your target experience, like your float is just always floating in a comfortable, like at any point in this circle, if the bow goes off, I'm
Yeah.
happy.
That's typically like, I mean, as I get older, that float is growing. That's for sure. But yeah, like I guess I haven't enough experience, I would like to think, and just my target archery background. Like my float is generally wherever it's floating, I feel confident that I'm gonna kill that animal
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
So the last the buck that I killed this year was only at 8 yards, but the previous two bucks that I shot were at 43 and 47 yards. And yeah, those were intense moments, and everybody knows you get, well, not everybody, but buck fever happens. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, my pin float was a little bit bigger when they're that far out and it's an intense moment, but I just still had the confidence to execute my shot and just trust that, yeah, my pin float, when it went off, it was going to be a good shot. And yeah, it's worked
Yeah.
every time. Joel Turner is a big advocate for, just let your pin is going to float. Like you said, your pin is going to float no matter what. You can never get it to hold still. So you just have to have confidence in your process.
Yeah. I do want to start doing, I don't know what it would be, but I would love to start doing some drills and some actual practice, not just like show up and see what happens at range or at the league night. I
Right.
used to do a little bit of it. I used to do a lot of like I think it was called blind bale shooting, but it was I just shoot in my
Yep.
basement and I'd shoot my Reinhardt
Right.
target. Problem was, and it's going to be worse now. My Reinhardt's getting a little older and my bow's getting a little bit more energy. And the last time I tried it, I put my arrow through the target like halfway into the drywall. Like I drilled the target, but it just went a little too far. And so I got to make
Nice.
sure I have a spacer there. And maybe I need a new target eventually, but I used to do that. I used to get close and just close my eyes and just slowly figure out that draw. I used to do string bow,
Right.
a lot of string bow. I want to get back into
Yep.
that. It'd be nice to know like what is like beneficial spends of time if you're going to do things like that, right? Because everyone's busy. Like most people don't have
Right.
time to like spend an hour a day working on their archery form. I wish everyone had 2 hours,
Yeah.
but you got work in
Yeah.
the gym, you got to pick the kids up, you got to make dinner, you got to get stuff done. And it's just like we all fall into that trap. And so I'm like, what can I do if I can do 15 minutes a day here this league season and see if it makes it like what should I be doing and kind of learn from experts. And maybe that's going to be part of our bonus series of like, hey, week 1, we're going to go in cold, we're going to shoot and we're going to see what our score is. And then from there, we're going to try to build every week. We're going to do this
Right.
much and this and this, and then kind of document that through a series, and goal being, help show people some options, get them excited about target season, archery
Yeah.
in the off season, but like what actually helps and what didn't really help at all.
The first thing that I would tell a new archer who wants to get better is to get a resistance release. Are you familiar with those?
I'm guessing it's not where you just push it and all of a sudden it goes boom.
Yeah. So resistance is like essentially, so Carter evolution, Stan, Perfect's resistance is just you're holding the trigger, like you hook up, you hold the trigger down, and it's a thumb. They're typically thumb releases, and you're holding that down. Then you draw back, and as you get settled, you let go of that trigger, and as you pull, as you apply pressure, it will fire after you apply X amount of weight. So like your holding weight on a 70-pound bow with an 80% let off is 14 pounds. Well, you can set this resistance release to fire once you apply 18 pounds. So you get back here, settled, let off that trigger, and you just keep pulling. And once this internal tension gets to 18 pounds, it'll fire.
Okay.
So that way there's no trigger.
Yes, you're holding a safety through your draw cycle.
Yep.
And then, man,
Yep.
I gotta get. I'm gonna do it outside. That's for sure. The first time, and then because the back tensions, they usually like have a safety in place, and then or some of them like you'll hear the click, and then it's live. What's that called?
Well, that's a hinge. All hinge releases. there's I think True Ball makes one hinge that has a quote unquote safety, and I don't even want to call it that. But so I'm going to leave that one out of the mix to
Okay.
begin with. But hinges don't have a safety, so it's basically you have to just apply pressure more so on your pointer finger, thumb side, excuse me, of your release as you're drawing, and then you'll apply pressure with your middle finger and your ring finger, and that's where you'll eventually hear that click because it's getting to a point in that rotation where it's super super close to falling off the edge or firing.
Okay.
So you can make the click to fire distance be anywhere from like 5 thousandths to 20 thousandths, and it makes
and so
it
like
makes a big difference.
the hinge is like this action here where you're like
Yeah,
where
you're rotating through that. Yeah.
it's hinging inside of your hand. Like you're hinging pressure from the like you said your thumb and forefinger to the pinky, and like your
Yep.
rest
Yep.
literally hinges. And that's because I've seen
Yeah.
people think like it's like your elbow hinge, like you're trying or things like that. And I've never shot it, so I don't really know much about them. And I've always maybe
Yeah.
shied away from them just because I don't understand
Sure.
how they work. And same with back tension. To me, it's like, man, I don't get like what are I can tell when I'm using my back more than others, but like what's going to actually
Yeah.
get the thing to go off?
Right. It's back tension. I don't think is the best verbiage for it because like you're using the same muscles that you use when you're drawing your bow back, which is going to be your rear delt and your trap and your rhomboid. But um, that those are going to be the same muscles that you use to continue to pull through. It's just like you're trying to pull your elbow straight back. That's all it is when it comes to like your back tensioner, just firing your shot because you want your elbow to follow straight back through, essentially.
So is a
But with
oh sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say with the hinge also, it's like I don't know if you necessarily think of your shoulder or your elbow or even as your wrist as the hinge itself, because the hook that is on your D loop,
Yep.
right? This hook itself is sitting on an edge, a cliff, essentially, and you're rotating as your hand rotates, you are pivoting this hook slowly off this edge. And then once you get to that or close to that edge, it'll click. If you choose to have a click, because not all of them have a click, you can elect to have that or not.
Okay.
But I have a click. So I will rotate my hand until that hook gets to the click, and then you're super, super close to it falling off the edge, and then you continue to apply pressure, continue to rotate, and then it'll just fall off. Well,
You're
it goes
saying
this way.
continue to apply like your pinky pressure.
Yes.
And
Yep.
okay. So
Yep.
is that so you shoot it, then you would say you shoot a hinge versus a back tension.
Correct. Back tension is just a broad spectrum of like the resistance style, the hinge, and some people will call even that thumb button that you have.
Okay.
They can say, oh, yeah, I have a thumb button, but I shoot at back tension. Well, it's still a trigger.
Sure.
But it's like back tension is more so of a process than it is an actual release.
I would love to try maybe the resistance one, like you said, because that one seems like it has the most straightforward like
Yes,
path to understanding. Like
100%.
yeah.
That's what I have. My oldest boy is 5 years old, and I have him shooting a resistance release.
Do they make them that are like wrist strap style?
They used to. HHA used to make one. Um, I don't know if Stanislavski might. Don't quote me on that. But I think all of them that I can think of are all handheld.
See, that one problem that I have with that is when I'm out west, man, if it's not tied to my wrist, it's so easy to lose.
I get that. I usually wrap my hinge releases with orange D loop in some way, shape, or form. So if I do drop it, I can at least find it.
Yeah, my
But
fear is I wear Sitka, and I always put it in my cargo pocket or my drop leg pocket, and then
yep,
it bites into my leg all day, which is not most comfortable because they're like this one's not
sure.
flat, right? The
Yep,
and
yep,
my paranoia is that I'll sit down for lunch or something, and somehow, some way, it falls out. I don't realize it. A mile
yeah.
later, I'm going to pull on a bow, and there I am deciding if I can pull off a 3-finger shot.
I I always carry two releases with me.
And
I have a
I did
marsupial
that
pack.
year too. I put the
Okay.
old wrist strap in my backpack. I'm almost wondering if they, like, is it Kydex that make like the holsters? You know what I'm talking about, like pistol holsters?
I know the holsters that you're talking about. I don't know the name of them
I'm
though.
almost thinking like, could you get like a thermal formed adapter that like you put on your riser and you like snap in your release and it's like in there, and you just when it comes time to shoot, or like maybe when you get in the stand, like I'm okay with hooking it on my D loop when I'm in the whitetail stand and my bow is just hanging there,
Right.
but I
Yeah,
don't
that's
want to
different.
walk around with it like that all day because it'll fall off.
No. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
There
wondering.
is there is somebody who makes like little holsters that are semi form fitted for, I think specifically for some of the knock on or Carter releases, like
Yeah.
John Dudley releases. But yeah, they're little holsters that are form fitted that go on your bow or like on your bino harness.
Oh, that would be a good one
So
too. That might be a little bit more practical.
yeah,
Maybe.
I keep mine. So like in my marsupial pouch, there's a little elastic right on the side of the bino pouch. That's where I keep mine, and I can tuck mine mostly in.
Yeah.
And I instead of the actual thumb peg that sticks out the side like yours, I 3D printed a low profile one, so that way it doesn't stick out. Even if it's in my pocket or if it's on my bino harness, it doesn't stick out either direction. It's low profile, so it fits in that sleeve a little bit better.
Awesome. Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. I might have to try. I might have to go check one out at the shop. I know they got a whole stack of
yeah,
releases. I mean, they probably just have one of everything people can shoot. And then if you want one, you go buy
yeah,
a different one. Um, yeah. So the only thing that I was curious about to ask you about the new arc, and that you have it, the new
yeah.
color. We got a new color
Yeah.
this year.
Yep, Kodiak Brown. I love it. So we've had a good number of solid color finishes over the years. Obviously black. We used to have stone, and kind of the new version of stone is shale.
Yep.
That's the gray color. Earth is kind of like a tan that came out a couple years ago. Um, and now we have and Green Ambush too.
Yep.
That came out I think the year of the VXR. So Green Ambush has been by far the most popular solid finish we've had the past few years. Um, Shale and Earth sell really good, but Green Ambush by far the best.
Really?
And I personally think this Kodiak Brown is going to be a rival to that in terms of number of sales. Yeah.
I just have such a hard time picking what color. Like, I love Sitka, so do I get the Optifade?
Yeah, we have Subalpine.
The Subalpine,
Yeah.
that looks great. I know they're not all Optifade, but
I get it.
yeah, the Sitka camel. I obviously not doing the Mossy Oak or the Kuyu or the First Light Spectre. Is that what you guys have?
Yep, we have First Light Spectre as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's like I don't have those clothing options. They look sweet,
Yep.
look super cool, especially that bottomland. But it's like, do I get that?
Yeah.
Because functionally, like it's if you're going to be eye to eye with an animal, especially like an elk, like it's. I found out white camo and blue accessories doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
Had that couple times. Like I'm looking at my white bow, the elk's looking at my white bow. I'm like, does he see that? I can see that.
Sticks out a little bit.
Yeah, but then the solids, and then do you get a fade to black? Do you get different color limbs?
Right.
Like, man, is it hard. They all look sweet. I wish you could, I mean, I don't know if maybe I just got to pick a different one if we keep doing another bow every year and just start to try them all. I don't know how to go about that decision. I really don't. They all look so good.
Did you check out our bow builder on our website?
Oh,
Because we have
yes.
an awesome. Yeah.
I built my bow 3 times, and then I sent it to Ben and said, "Hey, this is the one I want." And our winner used the bow builder as well.
Good.
They built the 29 and a
Nice.
half. I think they did shale fade to black with red strings and accessories. Mine's shale fade to black with lime green strings and accessories. And then that's another thing.
Good.
Like, what color string do you pick? You're kind of married to it for a while. I mean, most people are probably married to their bow for years. The string, at least years, but you could switch that out a little bit easier. But there's so many cool looking colors. Like the neon yellows look great. I kind of like the blaze orange. I don't know. It's so hard.
There's a lot of options, and that's why we have the builder, because like you can customize so many things on our bows now that it's hard for us to keep them all lined up in our mind, because like so many different color options. And we got the strings, and we got the colored dampers too.
Yeah.
And then for the quivers, you can get different colored inserts in the quiver itself. So it's like ultimate customization when it comes to
I got a gray quiver, black bars, so it matches my shade.
The fade. Yep.
I got all green dampeners, green string. Nice. I'm curious, like, what's the coolest looking bow you've come across lately? Whether it's like yours and the colors you put together, or just like, man, this one guy in the shop, he's got a bow that's like sweet. There's some iconics, right? Like any of the neon string colors look great with any of the grays.
Yep. So there's one from last year that stuck out to me a lot, and it was a shale riser with Kuyu Verde limbs and flow green strings. Like, I'm not a Kuyu guy, but that bow for that shale riser with the Kuyu just looked so good. That one stuck out like a sore thumb. So, and then this year, one of the other sales reps got a solid Kodiak riser and limb bow, and then he went with white strings and the tan serving. And the tan is actually BCY, that's the string manufacturer or the material maker. Their tan is the exact same color as our Kodiak. So it was Kodiak riser, Kodiak limbs, white strings with tan serving, and it just with a bunch of Kodiak accessories too, Kodiak quiver, Kodiak stabilizers, and it just looked really sharp.
That would be sweet. I was this close to doing all white strings and accessories, and the thing that got me was I was worried if they would start to like get dirty and not look white anymore.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they will get a little dirty, but any fluorescent color will get dirty.
Yeah.
But because I have white strings on mine, I have pink veins, so I have the yokes, the part that goes around the AVS ring and the cam. My yokes are pink. The rest of my strings are white.
Oh, I didn't know you could change that color.
Yep.
Or is that just people that know how to restring their bows?
Anybody can do it. It's just on the website. If you custom build a bow, it groups things together just to keep it easier for us.
Oh,
But technically, you can customize the string with the any color serving. You can do the cables with any color serving. You can do the yokes with any color serving. But the website will group
it's a
that
couple.
stuff
Yeah,
together. Yeah.
I might have to
So
because I really want white fletchings and wraps, and I want to start fletching my own arrows with a Bitzenberger. That's on my Christmas list for
yep.
the last 2 years to get a Bitzenberger.
Come on, honey.
No, my family. We don't give each other Christmas gifts anymore. It got too out of control.
I gotcha. I
No, we usually
gotcha.
just pick something big together, and that's our Christmas list. Yeah, no, a
Solid.
Bitzenberger for my family. I might just go buy one off eBay or something. And I
You can
really
find for
love.
like 60, $70, I think,
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
that's you can't beat
They're
that.
good though.
I really, for some reason, I want to try a 4 fletch with like a 5-degree helical. Like I want that sucker to spin like a 223.
That's extreme.
I don't know why. Maybe 3 degree, but I really like is it the DCA Kyle Davidson vein?
Those saber veins.
Yeah, this
I think it's
Saber and the Mini Saber.
yeah.
I had him on the podcast, and he's an engineer, and I'm an engineer, and we just geeked out over like his simulations and aerodynamic studies, and I really want to
Yep.
try that vein with like a real. And then I love like Dan Staton's elk shape videos where he's got the slow
Yep.
motion, like his
Right.
spin aggressive too.
Right.
And because I shoot a single blade or a single bevel fixed blade right hand twist broadhead for the sole purpose of
Okay.
like penetration and bone. And so I'm just like, hey, the more rotational energy I can put into this arrow, if I hit a front shoulder blade, I mean, it's just going to all work together. It's going to be synergistic, hopefully. So I'm just
I'll clue you in on something for. I think it's like all major bow manufacturers except I think PSE is opposite. All arrows will naturally rotate left out of a Mathews, and majority of other bow manufacturers' bows.
really, because I
Yep.
thought with my Halon, is that new or is that old or always?
As long as I've been here, and I've been here for 7.5 years.
So
So I was here after the Halon.
I bare shafted my arrows, and I don't know if I did it right, but they spun to the right. And the reason I do like the fact that you want them all to work together, like your bare shaft to match your fletching. I love a right hand twist because it tightens your broadheads on.
Right. That is one thing that, yeah, a lot of field points now, though, have like O rings on them. At least some of the higher quality ones, they have O rings.
This is like the thing that I will, I don't know, die on this hill. I do not understand how anyone is still in business making a field point that does not have an O ring in it.
Right.
They're not any. I shoot top hats exclusively because of that.
That's what I shoot.
Yeah. And I have arrows that I haven't had to tighten the field point in 10 years. Like I buy usually like 2 or 3 dozen at a time, and some in the bottom of the bag just never get shot. And it's like, but some get shot every day, and I've never had to retighten one. I shot a top hat into a 3/8 inch steel plate for our 3D tournament, and I missed and hit the plate. And everyone's like, that sounded weird. And I'm like, yeah, that did sound weird. You know what happens when you shoot metal, right? It's bing, smash, and then and it's rattling across the floor in the shop, right? The rest of your arrow. It was just
parts of it.
And we're like, what happened to the arrow? We got up there. My arrow was stuck into this steel plate, just sitting there, like.
That's insane.
That's what you get when you have a top hat, like a steel broadhead. My outsert like crunched a little bit, the aluminum, and almost like collapsed forward, like an eighth of an inch. And it was just into that steel, stuck there. I have a picture of it just sitting in that steel plate. And like
that is insane.
A 1/16 of an inch. I'll find it to you and I'll text it to you or email it to you. It's like a 1/16 of an inch of the field point is stuck in the steel. And that's but no, I don't know why people don't do it. It's like my top hats are like $12 a dozen, and the Saunders whatever is $6 a dozen. It's
right. I love those top hat points. I mean, it's tool steel, so it's super hard.
Yeah.
Steel. That's all that I shoot though. Yeah. That's all I've been shooting for years. So yeah, I'm on board with that.
Awesome. Well, cool. I might have to try that. I really like the white for hunting too. Like I'm like, do they make white lighted nocks? Like I want all colors in the spectrum.
I haven't seen that before.
I don't know why. Like, I
I
want
guess
to
I
be
haven't
bright.
seen. Right.
Yeah. And then like for painting your arrow red, like I just think it would look really cool to have all white wraps, all white fletchings, and then match it up. That's was like, well, that'd look kind of weird with all my green strings. So that's why I really wanted to get white strings. So maybe we'll see.
Right.
Maybe next year if we do another bow, I'll get the white strings and do white arrows and white wraps and
do it up.
do like
Do it up.
Yeah, white lightning.
I like it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Daniel, for being here on this podcast. I know we're up over an hour. It's easy to just let time fly when we're talking about cool new bows, but new ARC 30, ARC 34s out now at dealerships.
Yep. A lot of shops are going to be getting some inventory before Christmas.
Yeah.
So, but they all will have demo bows right now.
All have demo bows. We got the bow builder, so folks can go build their own ARC. They can check out the Kodiak, some of the colors we talked about. You can now order your bow direct from this website too, right?
You can't order it directly, but you can print off a link or a QR code.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I meant. Like, order the exact bow you want. Like,
yes. Yeah. A lot of shops will send us a QR code or a link directly to the bow that you would build.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I ordered mine. And our giveaway winner, same thing. They used the bow builder. It's awesome. 3D bow builder, folks. If you've never checked it out, go check it out on the website. I can tell you on mine, it's very accurate, very good.
Yep.
Like, colors and just like, it's online. It's like, is this really the color it's going to be? It's in my experience, it was spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And, good luck. I know you're tagged out in Wisconsin. Got anything else going on this fall?
Gun season starts on Saturday, so a couple days from now. But I'm going to take my bow out.
Yeah, you just got to wait till the gun season starts to get your second buck tag.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I hope you shoot a monster.
That is the plan. There's a couple older bucks that not quite as big as the one I shot before, but still would be fitting for the wall.
Awesome. Well, good. I hope you do it. Send us a picture when you get them, and it would be
certainly will.
But yeah, thanks for being here, and thank you for listening, folks. Until next time, stay tuned.